Good morning or good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the Daviess County Fiscal Court to order. Today is November 21st, 2024, and this is our second meeting of November. This evening we are at the OCTC BLANDFORD Lecture Hall. And Commissioner Marksberry, you do the prayer and the pledge, please.
Thank you, Judge. If you would stand with me, please. Awesome God, creator of the universe, we come to you with grateful hearts this Thanksgiving season. I pray that you will be with all those who need a helping hand, a loving touch, and a kind word. We thank you for our country and our county. Please bless our people. We ask that you continue to bless and guide our staff and all the employees of our county. We are especially grateful for the good people you have placed in these positions to serve alongside of us. Grant our fiscal court wisdom and discernment to make the right decisions concerning our community. Help us to prosper according to your will. We ask these things in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
And now the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Brooke, before we get started, I just want to say thank you again to Dr. Scott Williams for allowing us to use this facility for our meetings. And I believe, I said this last time I think, but I've been assured that we'll really be in the courthouse the next meeting, December 5th. Also want to make welcome Senator Gary Boswell's with us this evening. Welcome, Senator. Brooke?
1. Consideration for presentation. A. Treasurer's Report for October of 2024.
Mr. Johnson.
As of October 31, 2024, the total cash balance for all funds is $71,412,890.56. The general fund balance is $37,152,084.39. Minus operating reserve and restricted funds, cash for general fund operations is $27,568,204.52. Funds are continuing to operate within expected ranges with no anomalies of which the court is not already aware. I have nothing else to report.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions from the court? Hearing none. Next item.
2. Consideration for approval. A. Minutes of November 7th, 2024, Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. We've all had the minutes in for several days to review. Do I hear any corrections, additions, or deletions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
B. All claims for all departments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. We've all had the claims bills due and payable by the Daviess County Fiscal Court for a few days. Do you have any questions for the treasurer? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
C. Criminal Justice Information Services Management Control Agreement between the City of Owensboro and Daviess County, Kentucky.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Judge. Consolidated 911 Operations is the entry point for the computer systems of Daviess County that interface either directly or indirectly with the Law Information Network of Kentucky, or LINK system, for the interstate exchange of criminal history and criminal justice information. This is the agreement required by the FBI Criminal Justice Information Services, or CJIS, security policy that sets a local recognized law enforcement agency as the agency responsible for compliance with all rules and regulations of the LINK and CJIS policies. Since the Owensboro Police Department, or OPD, is co-located with and by agreement manages the consolidated 911 operations, OPD will be the entity that shall have the authority and responsibility for management of security control and to set and enforce policies and procedures as they relate to CJIS for all satellite agencies. OPD has has served in this capacity since the consolidation of 911, with the prior agreement being an amendment to the prior 911 Memorandum of Agreement. Now that we have a new MOA for 911, this agreement is a requirement for continued access to Link. Legal, myself, the City of Owensboro, and all affected parties have reviewed the agreement, and we find no issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the commission? Go ahead.
No comment on this, but I noticed that the director of 911 is Paul Daviess here. I do have a question for him on an unrelated item, but since he's here, maybe he could address, please, if that's possible.
I'm good with that.
No, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Turn the on switch.
Paul, last night we had the volunteer chiefs meeting, and I know this is short notice, but I think there's a good, quick solution to this, but it was brought up at the meeting last night that when the water districts or associations have a major water leak, such as what occurred, I think, 2 weeks ago when a 6-inch line burst close to Masonville, that notification to all the volunteers and everyone else needs to be made somehow, some way, because we don't want to have one cause of lack of water and then actually have a fire. That would just be atrocious if that was. So is it possible with the judge's approval that we can do to be able to address that issue?
Paul Nave, Owensboro, Davis County 911 Director. So the solution, it's a simple solution. If we can do an agreement with the water districts, either just an email agreement, that if for something like that happens, that they immediately notify dispatch. Dispatch can then in turn, we have capabilities of sending a text to the fire departments and also a page notification, if you will, to them, and we can just drop the tones and make an announcement, hey, a 6-inch main in your district, and then they can man the house or whatever they do to mitigate that issue and be prepared for that. So that's a simple solution, and we can just CAD a CAD incident, notify them, and document everything. It's a simple solution.
Okay. Thank you.
Judge, I would think that's for you to make the phone calls to the water district directors, I suppose, because it was apparently a large issue that occurred. It was apparently a large issue that occurred 2 weeks ago that if there was an issue on the south side, there was no water, even though it was repaired quickly, could have been catastrophic without that happening. So thank you for allowing the question to be asked.
I'm glad you asked it, but I was unaware of that one. I know back in the summer we had one as well, and I found out about it well after they were in the process of repairing it. And I assumed that a process was in place after that we wouldn't have another one without notification. So I'll make those calls. I'll make sure that we get something in place. So thank you.
What you want me to do, and I'll be more than glad to do it.
Yes, sir. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Appreciate
Any
it.
questions on the MOU while I'm here?
Any questions from the court? Any questions from the public on this item? Thank you, Paul, for being
you,
here. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
D, Memorandum of Agreement between Commonwealth of Kentucky, Kentucky Department of Agriculture, and Daviess County Fiscal Court for the 2024 Spay Neuter Grant.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion, second, Mr. Johnson.
This is the resultant memorandum of agreement to receive the 2024 Spay Neuter grant funds in the amount of $1,146. The grant application submitted by Animal Control Director Ashley Thompson was to offer spay services for 27 female pit bulls to Daviess County citizens at no cost. It should be noted that the rabies vaccination, microchip insertion, and other services will be charged at the rates published in the county's rate schedule for these animals. The grant requires a 1-to-1 match, so in order to arrive at the cost to cover exactly 27 dogs, the county must contribute $1,149 for a total of $2,295. This grant process is dictated by the county's average anticipated alteration cost per canine, which, considering personnel and materials, averages to approximately $85 per female dog. We participate in this grant annually, and I see no issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions from the court? Commissioner Marksberry.
Yes, I've just wondered how we would get the word out to the potential owners of these pets that they could get this spay neuter done. Do we have a process?
I would say our social media. Beyond that, and media that's here tonight, hopefully they'll write a story about it. And beyond that, I don't know. But to Commissioner, to Mr. Johnson's point, this is an annual grant so this is not new.
Facebook and social media.
Is there a deadline for when it has to be used?
Yes, I believe it's by the end of the calendar year.
This year?
Yeah,
So you don't have a lot of time.
not too much.
Okay. So that's pit bulls only, free spay and neuter, and then if there's any vaccines or anything that are needed, they pay for that.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
E, contract with Axiom Architecture for transfer station office building.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon.
Yes, Judge. This is the contract for Axiom Architecture to produce the drawings and specifications to use to bid a new office building at the Grimes Avenue Transfer Station. This new building would be part of an overall reconfiguration at the transfer station. We only require service items 1 through 70 in the amount of $14,200. This project is part of a budgeted $1.7 million HDR Master Plan Phase 1, and the design fee is within the expected range. I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions from the court? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
F, contract with Axiom Architecture for transfer station concrete pad.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon.
Yes, this is the contract for Axiom Architecture to produce drawings and specifications for use to bid a new concrete transfer pad at the Grimes Avenue Transfer Station. This new pad is also part of the overall reconfiguration and would allow for the return of CD&D to the transfer station in the future. We only require service items 1 through 7 in the amount of $13,600. This project is also part of the budget of $1.7 million HDR Master Plan Phase 1, and the design fee is within expected range. I recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the court?
Yes, Judge.
Mr.
I'd like
Castlen.
to make a comment. Thank you. This is something that I'm very appreciative of what you've helped to get going through, because this is whenever the transfer station was no longer able to take the CD&D and everything had to go to the landfill. I know that was an increased expense, and also one of the things that we've battled against is increasing the trash along the roadways, we assume. And this is one of those ways that we've been able to find the way that this can help pay for itself, so that by moving that there or having it back at the transfer station, it is one of those things that supports itself to keep the where the home builders and whoever's doing construction and needing to take that kind of stuff off can have it at a easier location to access, hopefully less flat tires, as I know that they get, and also less trash on the road. And I'm very glad to see that we're able to make this happen.
I am as well. Anyone from the public wish to speak to this? Come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
You want me to come up here?
Yes, sir. To the mic.
Matthew Purcell, 3945 Wood Trace. All I want to say is thank you, especially to Commissioner Castlen. Thank you, Judge, for the meetings that you had with the Home Builders Association and hearing our challenges that we faced. It's been a road. It's been a bumpy road, a trashy road, whatever you want to say. It's been a challenge for our businesses. So I just wanted to get up and say thank you for the work that you all have done to try to meet us in the middle on this and try to find a resolution. So I just want to say thank you, and I strongly encourage you all to approve this and get this going so we can get back to saving some money on doing business. So,
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Adam Hicks. I'm the executive officer for the Home Builders Association. I'm not a good speaker like Matt Purcell, so I wrote my stuff down, and I'm going to read it off for you. But on behalf of the members of the Home Builders Association, I would like to thank the court for their commitment and hard work in getting the transfer station back to accepting CD&D materials. Your dedication to supporting the building industry in our community is truly appreciated. Allowing this material to be accepted at the transfer station will save our local builders' time and money, which in turn can be passed on to homeowners and businesses that use their services. A special thank you to Commissioner Castlen for spearheading this effort and for keeping the building industry informed and updated on all the changes that have been occurring. Your leadership has not gone unnoticed. And thank you to Judge Castlen for having a clear understanding of the needs of both our industry and our community. Your support makes a difference every day. Lastly, thank you to the leadership and the employees at the transfer station and the landfill. We recognize the challenges you face and greatly appreciate the work that you do, keeping operations running smoothly and supporting our industry. Your efforts make a real difference, and we are grateful for all you do. Thank you again to everyone for your hard work, dedication, and for ensuring that Daviess County can continue to grow and to thrive. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Conner, do you have something to say?
Just quickly, Judge, acceptance of CD&D, if I'm not mistaken, will not be done until the work is completed.
Absolutely true.
Thank you, sir. And then as far as timeline of when the transfer station will be taking the CD&C is to be determined. Is that correct?
That is correct as well.
I just wanted to make sure that was clarified, not only for the home builders, but also for the media, that this work has to get finished first, then the timeline of when and how is much later, okay?
Because this is strictly for design services, and then we'll have to do a bid for the construction of the pad. And part of it will be done in-house by our own people, but part of it has to be done outside by outside providers. Anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
G, change order 2 for bid number 2324-06, asbestos abatement project.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson?
This is the proposed change order from our abatement contractor concerning the clerk's election office, which includes the removal of the ceiling walls in the area due to the overspray present above the ceiling. It is a similar situation that caused change order 1 on the second floor of the courthouse, where the Kentucky Division of Air Quality set the guideline of having the area above the ceiling cleaned and having the ceiling walls removed by a licensed abatement contractor. The change order is in the amount of $45,500. Our abatement consultant, project architect, and project manager all found the pricing to be within an acceptable range and recommend moving forward. This cost will be offset in part by deductions from the general contractor for the courthouse renovation for work covered by this change order that they would have otherwise performed, which is primarily ceiling and wall removal. I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
H, change order 3 for bid number 2324-06, asbestos abatement project.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson?
This is the proposed change order from our abatement contractor concerning the main lobby area of the courthouse. The Kentucky Division of Air Quality worked with our abatement contractor, abatement consultant, project architect, and our project manager to recommend abating the lobby ceiling area to allow the installation of a drop ceiling in lieu of adding structural support for the new HVAC and lighting systems. This change order is in the amount of $37,710. Our abatement consultant, project architect, and project manager all found this pricing again to be within an acceptable range and recommend moving forward. This cost will also be offset in part by deductions from the general contractor for the courthouse renovation for work covered by this change order that they would have otherwise performed. I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions from the commissioners? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Change order 1 for bid number 2425-11, purchase of 89 new fire hydrants.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon?
Yes, Judge. As the contractor began installation of these new fire hydrants, they discovered some of the lines are buried deeper than anticipated. In order to avoid any delays in installation or disrupt water service, Fire Department management has requested to procure fire hydrant extension kits to have on hand when such an instance occurs. This change order in the amount of $11,041.44 will cover the cost of 12 fire hydrant extension kits and will be fully reimbursed by the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority Grant Assistance Agreement approved in fiscal court session held February 6, 2024. I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the commission? Any questions or comment from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
J, renew bid number 2324-36.1, mowing of county right-of-ways.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon?
This renewal is for the mowing of county right-of-ways. All of our service contracts have a provision to where if both parties agree, the contract can be renewed for an additional contract term up to a maximum of 4 renewals. This service contract bid is available for renewal from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025. And after speaking with County Engineer Duper, we are recommending renewal given that the services have been rendered to our satisfaction, and rebidding the service would likely result in a significant price increase. This is the first renewal.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the commission? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
K, award bid number 2425-41, D8T dozer undercarriage replacement.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon?
Yes, Judge, we received 3 bids and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid submitted by Boyd & Sons Machinery for the provision of a replacement undercarriage for the D8T dozer at the West Davis County landfill in the amount of $33,742.24. This is the budgeted routine replacement of parts. Undercarriage replacement for landfill equipment is recommended every 4,000 hours, and this unit is at that threshold. Boyd & Sons Machinery is a known vendor. There were no exceptions to the specification, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
L, award bid number 2425-44, asphalt hot mix and pavement milling.
Motion to approve?
Second. Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon?
We received 1 bid and recommended award to the only responsive bid submitted by Hinkle Contracting for the attached rate schedule. The rate for asphalt delivered, which is the majority of our orders and activity, has increased 1.5% from $93.50 per ton to $94.90 per ton. Public Work Management monitors the state's contract and other municipal agreements and believes that the rates submitted are reasonable and in agreement with activity and pricing across the Commonwealth. There were no exceptions to our specification, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
M, award bid number 2425-45, mosquito control services.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Ms. Sturgeon?
Yes, Judge, we received 1 bid and recommend award to the only responsive bid submitted by Axiom Pest Control for the attached rate schedule. Axiom Pest Control is our current vendor for the service, which we have found satisfactory with no issues. Please note there is a 6% increase over our previous contract in treatment for fixed locations. However, we updated the list of treatment areas based on complaints and County Engineer Duper's analysis. There are slightly more areas of treatments than before that are in theory more strategically allocated. There were no exceptions to the bid specification, and I recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions from the court? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
N, hire Derek Crisp as firefighter effective December 1st of 2024.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Want to thank Mr. Chris for his interest in working for us and welcome him to congratulate him and welcome him to our firefighting force.
It will be a good addition.
Very good. Anyone else? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
O, hire Dakota Mays as service technician effective November 25th of 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Want to congratulate Dakota on joining our group and wish him well. Commissioner Castlen.
I'd like to say the same, Judge. After getting to sit in with the interviews, he looks like he'd be a great fit for the county.
Very good. Anyone else? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
P, promote Colton Lanham to solid waste truck driver operator effective November 25th of 2024.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Want to congratulate Colton on his promotion. Thank him for his years of service to us. Commissioner Castlen.
Same with that, Judge, and appreciate everybody that actually put in for the different positions and looking for the promotions. It's a tough group that he was up against, but he did very well.
Very good. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
3, consideration for discussion. A, first reading of KLC 870.01, 10/2024, an ordinance creating Chapter 94 of the Code of Ordinances of the Daviess County Fiscal Court regarding the placement of unsolicited written materials on property.
This is first reading, so we don't need a motion and a second. Mr. Burley, Counselor, if you would do the whereases on this one.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Whereas the Daviess County Fiscal Court is concerned about the proliferation of litter and visual blight within the community, and whereas the Fiscal Court finds that deliveries of unsolicited written materials are being haphazardly made throughout Daviess County, to include distributing such materials on sidewalks, yards, and driveways, with no means to ensure that such items do not add to the litter problem and/or visual blight. And whereas the Fiscal Court finds that these unsolicited rent materials have contributed to the litter and visual blight of private premises, public streets, sidewalks, and other public places, and that these materials, haphazardly delivered, are damaging to private property and/or interfere with private property. And whereas the Fiscal Court desires to ensure that these unsolicited written materials do not litter the streets, sidewalks, or other public places or yards or driveways of private premises, do not cause visual blight in our neighborhoods, do not damage private property, and do not interfere with private property. And whereas this ordinance is an effort to reduce unwanted litter and visual blight caused by unsolicited written materials on public property in the yards and driveways of private premises, to prevent damage to private property and to further prevent interference with private property. And whereas this ordinance does not in any way deprive or diminish a private property owner's right to protect his or her premises from unsolicited or unwanted written materials. And then there's the enactment clause, and there's a section that I was asked specifically to read, and it's a rather sort of long ordinance. I'm not going to read the whole thing. And we used a lot of the language from Fayette County's government. They have a very similar ordinance. It's section 94.102, placement of unsolicited written materials. And this is sort of what you can do. Unsolicited written materials delivered to a premises shall be placed on a porch, if one exists, nearest the front door, or so that such materials are securely attached to the front door, or through a mail slot on the front door or principal structure, if one exists, as permitted by the United States Postal Service, or between the exterior front door, if one exists and is unlocked, and the interior front door, or where permitted, in a distribution box located on or adjacent to the premises, or, and lastly, personally with the owner, occupant, and or leasee of the premises. Notwithstanding above, an owner, leasee, or occupant maintains the right to restrict entry, obviously, to their residence. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Any questions or comments from the court? Any questions or comments from the public? Senator Boswell, if you would. You could.
This cost me $50.
You want them back?
Maybe just one copy. Y'all can, I've got 2 copies of 5 pictures.
Okay.
I think y'all write this on. So my name is Gary Boswell. I'm the State Senator, 8th District of 8th District, Daviess, Hancock, and McLean County. So I just want to thank the court tonight for presenting this ordinance. I mean, you guys, the work you've already done already is amazing. You're setting an example across the state as a community that we're trying to deal with issues relating to litter. In the last legislative session, I introduced Senate Bill 316, which is called the Keep Kentucky Free of Litter bill. And that bill was moving through the process till I added one word. I added the word cigarette butt into the ordinance, and the bill was, somebody killed the bill. Nevertheless, what you've done here is a great effort towards resolving the problem we have in the state. Judge, I want to thank you specifically. I know that this is an issue that you, and I know all the commissioners are concerned, and I hope you'll all support this. And also, David Smith, I think, was probably very involved in helping, and also the county attorney. So thank you for your efforts. Now, one of the pictures that I did want to say, one of the pictures I brought you may not be addressed in this particular ordinance. It has the one to do with signs. Mm-hmm. And if you look around the county, I know you're aware of it, but I'm finding that every intersection in our county is littered with advertising signs. And I hope maybe as y'all move through this process and hopefully get this ordinance passed, that maybe down the line as you move forward, you can also address that. So again, thank you for everybody that was involved in addressing this ordinance that you presented, and I want to thank you all.
You're welcome. Anyone else from the public wish to speak to this? The only thing I'll say is this is something that Senator Boswell and I have had conversations about pretty much from day one of my being elected as judge executive. It is something that goes way back to when I was a city commissioner. It was something that I was very concerned about and wished that we could address. And at that time, I was told that we couldn't touch it. Lexington Fayette Urban County Government did more recently pass something that was challenged in court. The appeals court sided with the Urban County Government, and so our verbiage, other than the names of the individuals or whatever the departments that will do the enforcing, is pretty much word for word what Fayette County has on their books, and so I'm very hopeful, and Senator, I appreciate the pictures you've sent to me. I've had a number of other people send me pictures showing their frustration and hoping that we would do something. So I believe this will be supported by the whole court, and so anyway, but thank you for being here. You're certainly welcome to have your pictures back afterwards. So. Anyone else? Next item, Brooke.
B, other business to be brought before the Daviess County Fiscal Court. There is none that I'm aware of. C, public comments.
This is a part of the meeting where we invite the public to come forward, state your name and address for the record, and speak to any item that other than items that have already been on the agenda.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Brown. I live on 2808 Turfway Drive in the Downs. I was going to ask someone after this, but since you all are talking about litter, I frequently go to Yellow Creek Park, and it's a beautiful park, and I enjoy walking on the path there and appreciate the maintenance of our park service so much. But one thing I notice, I actually do pick up trash when I go, and sometimes randomly people, for whatever reason, sometimes it's accidental, I think, leave trash, and so I go and take a trash bag and usually pick up. But there's a huge blue canister in the creek straight across from Pioneer Village, and a tire that when the water's low, it's just kind of not pretty. And it sort of ruins the whole ambiance of being out in nature. And I kind of meant to write a letter last week because the water was down and it would have been a great time for somebody just to come and picked it. So I didn't know if that was a possibility that we could get that kind of cleaned up. I'm
sure we can. If you could help identify precisely where it is, I'm sure our staff can get it out.
It's right across from Pioneer Village on the creek, and it's a teal blue, that color blue canister, you can't miss it.
Okay.
So it's just kind of an eyesore in there.
But
So
you mentioned a tire too, I thought. you said.
it's right up from it. The tire's right up from it on the creek there.
Okay.
So, and it's on the Pioneer Village
And it's
side.
easily seen when the water's low. Okay,
I mean, you probably see it now, but yeah.
okay. Thank you very much. And you said you carry a bag and pick up trash. I appreciate that as well. That's something I do. I was just showing a couple of folks at the courthouse. I know I've been mistaken for being a homeless person when I go out at night and pick up trash. All right. Thank you again. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Again, state your name and address for the record.
I'm Beverly Johnson. My address is 1601 Roosevelt Road. I come before you as a concerned private citizen, but also a longtime community volunteer. I volunteer at the Daviess County Animal Care and Control Shelter on Highway 81. If it please the court, I respectfully ask that you reconsider lifting the ban on the Neuter Spay services, which are limited to only qualified low-income families. I would ask that you reinstate this service to include all Daviess County citizens as a vital service provided to all, regardless of their income. While we still have a county shelter and a paid veterinarian as a county employee on staff, I would ask that you revisit this issue. Perhaps some stipulations, a time frame till the end of the year, 3 months, a time frame, or perhaps only feral cats or semi-feral cats or cats in cages. In the pit bull thing that's going to be going on now, perhaps only pit bull type dogs. But anything to reduce the number of unwanted litters. The number has grown exponentially since the service was shut down. The county provides many services and opportunities for its citizens. I love mosquito control, pickleball courts, new playground equipment. I would just ask that you please look at this issue and take immediate action in lifting the ban, allowing all citizens the opportunity for this vital service. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak to any item other than items that have been covered on the agenda? Hearing none. Next item. Brooke.
D, comments by Daviess County Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Marksberry.
Thank you, Judge. Beverly, I agree with you 100% on the spay neuter. I can't wait to see it brought back. Hopefully that will happen soon. I'm excited about this new ordinance that we're passing this evening. Hopefully, I know we've gotten a lot of calls about litter being in the ditches, like our county road ditches, where they just start to fill up. And I don't know if this will help the farmers, but they've had a lot of their fields that have been flooded, you know, with litter and things that they've dealt with. So I'm happy for that. And I just want to say I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving and be safe and take care of each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Castlen. Commissioner Condor.
Thank you, Judge. Yes, we're coming up on a good season that I believe hopefully everybody truly enjoys, especially whenever family comes home. The city they're going to be doing a lot of their lighting of the Christmas tree and everything else tomorrow night and Saturday. But remember, Christmas at Panther Creek starts soon. It will begin November 29th through January 1st. It's $5 a vehicle, so get a school bus, $5, and everybody gets to see it. Yeah, there you go. That'll be something if somebody ever did that. And then on December 12th is the Free Community Night sponsored by Owensboro Health, meaning that Owensboro Health will be paying for each vehicle that comes through on that evening. One other thing, since Paul Nave was here already, that other question has already been answered. But we did lose recently two community leaders, and I want to just recognize them briefly. One being Arnie Wiener, just an old hippie. Arnie was very vocal, but Arnie was also an individual that would listen and would speak and talk and debate passionately. He will be missed by our community just because he's Arnie. The other is Mary Brian Hood, the director of the Owensboro Art Museum. Talk about passion. Two people that had passion for what they loved in their life were these two individuals. They will be highly missed within this community for their respective art that they do and their personalities. So we just wanted to recognize those two individuals especially. And again, happy Thanksgiving. Hug your family. Hug the ones you love. Maybe hug someone you don't. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Commissioner Conder. To your comments about Mary Brian Hood and also Arnie, I was acquainted with both of them, and long time I've been acquainted with Mary Brian Hood, and she's done a wonderful job over the years with the Fine Arts Museum, and she will be missed, absolutely. So CACO, that stands for Kentucky Association of Counties, had their 50th year anniversary conference this year, and last week a number of us attended, and in preparation of that, they asked school children, kindergarten through 8th grade, from all over Kentucky to submit original artwork of why they love their county. And Daviess County's winner was 5th grader Raylan Mitchell from the Owensboro Catholic 4-6 campus. Raylan's picture and commentary, there's a brief commentary they submitted with each picture, is on our Facebook page, isn't it? So I took a picture and sent it to Jordan and asked him to get that up. I want to continue thanking those who help our citizens and our community with participating in the Cash for Trash program. This time on the claims, we had River Tree Church, Pleasant Ridge Baptist Church, Saving Animals in Need Together, Inc., St. Mary of the Woods School, 7th grade, 8th grade, and the boys' athletics, St. Mary of the Woods Youth Group, St. Elizabeth Catholic Church, Precious Blood Catholic Church, A.G. Hodges Masonic Lodge, Mary Carrico Memorial School, and Knights of Columbus, number 14290. They picked up a total of 1.5 tons, 450 bags of trash. They covered 54 miles of county roadways. Just want to congratulate also Owensboro Catholic High School football team. They continue advancing into the playoffs. I think they're the only local school that's still in the playoffs. So would love to see at least one of our local schools take it all this year. Also want to congratulate Daviess County High School theater team, won first place in the Kentucky Theater Association One Play Festival at the University of Louisville. And finally, Apollo's Athletics Department will host a chili supper and silent auction tomorrow, November 22nd at 5 p.m. The community will have the opportunity to meet a variety of the sports teams. And I too want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Anything else? All right. And like I say, this is I've been assured that we will be in the courthouse, our next meeting, December 5th. So I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Scott Williams for allowing us to use this facility. It has served us well. To those citizens who came here, it might have been a struggle to get here versus downtown, but thank you all for participating. And where's my sign-off clause here? Without further business, this meeting is adjourned.